Business Brain, episode 604 for Wednesday, December 4th, Extraordinary Work Team Recognition Day, 2024. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas, we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our business brains to better our chances of living those charmed lives. Sponsors for this episode include Notion.com/businessbrain, where you can go and try out Notion for free today. It's an awesome thing that combines like your docs and your knowledge base and AI. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. As well, we'll talk about LegalZoom.com, where promo code BBSHOW gets you 10% off any business formation product. We'll talk a little bit more about that too. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, after the Thanksgiving weekend, I'm Dave Hamilton.
Yeah, finally getting over it. I think all the turkey might be gone out of my fridge. I'm Shannon coming with you from Northern California. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good.
That's great.
Here we are on Extraordinary Work Team Recognition Day, and also my kid's birthday. So, happy birthday, nice. Kiddos.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. Hey, we have a guest coming up here for our next episode, which you don't want to miss. But I did want to talk about a topic that comes up all the time when I talk with other business owners and entrepreneurs. It happened this morning again, and that is doubt. The topic of, questioning if you're doing the right thing. I don't know, this kind and the context I want to kind of dig into is about, as entrepreneurs, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur or just starting out, we kind of live in these silos and we have these doubts.
Yep.
But it's hard to understand or to, believe sometimes that everybody else has these doubts too. And
yes.
One of the most common things I hear when I talk with people, jump on discovery calls or coaching call or whatever, it's, wow, I'm so glad to hear that you've had this happen too. You felt this way too. And it really hit home with me. I had a really good call today. The power of connecting with other people, especially other entrepreneurs. I don't think civilians quite understand it. Nothing against that.
No, it's hard to have those conversations. Yes.
Yeah. But we talk about it here, being able to talk on Business Brain each week and kind of flush things out sometimes. A lot of the topics I bring up are stuff I want to learn more about because I'm having a problem with them or just questioning them. So getting involved with other people, a group, either online, in real life, just being able to share like, wow, I didn't know you went through this, or you're going through it, or this is normal. Doubting yourself in this realm of being a business owner, entrepreneur it's just the way it is. You're constantly going to be doubting yourself.
It is a common topic every time I speak with entrepreneurs. And case in point, it's a common topic when you and I talk, Shannon.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
And you hear it in the show too. It comes up in a lot of different ways. It's funny you bring this up. I was talking just about an hour ago with a friend of mine who is, I think objectively, probably more successful in business than either one of us, potentially than either one of us combined. I don't know if that's actually true. I haven't seen his financials, but from the outside, people would probably, if they said, look at the three of us, pick the one that's most successful in business, they'd probably point to him. And he was saying he's part of this coaching group, and he was telling me about an offhanded comment that his coach made 4 years ago, not even directed toward him, just kind of said it. And he's like, and now, ever since then, this is the thing that wakes me up at night and I obsess about. And I'm like, okay, well, now I got to know. Like, dude, this huge setup.
Crazy. Good.
What was the comment? And the comment was, the worst kind of entrepreneurs to coach are those who haven't gone to college, which this guy has not.
Okay.
Because they don't know how to see different versions of what smart means. They're used to their own version of smart. They're used to being the only smart person in the room, and they haven't experienced what different types of smart means. And he said, my gosh, that's me. You know, is my whole life a sham and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, dude, it's not. Clearly, all that's happening is that comment is feeding your version of imposter syndrome. But I get it. Like I'm not trying to say it's not valid.
Yeah,
it's
hard to control.
It's just and but like the comment in and of itself is right. And I don't know about like whether college is important, but the idea of recognizing different types of intelligence. He gave a great example. He said it was during COVID lockdowns, and they were interviewing someone in their office in person. And so as they're getting ready to do this interview, somebody says, oh, hey, we want to call down to the security and let them know to let this person up so that, you know, we can interview him. And my friend, who's the founder of the company, said, you know, I don't know that we do want to call down to security. People kind of raised their eyebrows. And he said, well, if they can't figure out how to negotiate their way past our security guard, then I don't know that we want them on the team anyway. And somebody else said, because this is how my friend thinks. Like, this is, you know, he's like, okay, well, that's a good litmus test for someone. And somebody else on the team said, well, they might not be good at social engineering, but they might still be good at, say, software engineering. And they're smart at that, not at this. And it was just an example of like not necessarily being in your own silo. But still, he says, to this day, it feeds his insecurities. And all of us.
I heard one example I heard just recently was the entrepreneur saying when he's moving forward and getting things done, everything's great and he feels good. But when he slows down, that doubt creeps in and it can be paralyzing. And man, I've been there. I have a task that I'm struggling with right now because I don't know how to do it. And it's like driving me nuts. And, you know, and then the other way I heard it was a post about meetings and going around and making sure you asked everybody, what are you struggling with right now at your meeting? Because it gets people talking. And I commented was, you know, it also helps blow the myth up of that I'm the only one struggling, right? Because that's another thing you feel like, oh, I'm the only one that's having a problem. Everybody else is killing it, you know, but that's just not true. At varying degrees, and people have different, so you're doubting yourself, which is just a human condition, I guess.
Yeah, it's just who we are. Right.
It's who we are. But, you know, it's just, I just thought it's important to recognize there's no way what you're going through, if you're an entrepreneur and you're listening to this and this, your unique situation is unique, of course, but the doubts and the uncertainties, that's just the way it is. So learning to operate in those conditions can really help you a lot.
All right, folks, let's talk about sticker shock. You know, the kind you get when you see the price tag for traditional legal services. Starting your business should feel like an adventure, not like you just maxed out your credit card. And that's why there's our sponsor, LegalZoom. LegalZoom is the smarter way to handle all the legal stuff. Want to register your business or form an LLC? No problem. Need to talk to an attorney without worrying about a second mortgage? They've got you covered. LegalZoom makes starting and protecting your business simple, affordable, and dare I say, actually enjoyable. With just a few clicks at LegalZoom.com, you can take care of everything from formation to ongoing compliance. And their network of experienced attorneys is there to help, minus the jaw-dropping hourly rates. Over the past 20 years, LegalZoom has helped millions of businesses get off the ground, and yours could be next. So skip the sticker shock and launch, run, and protect your business to make it official today at LegalZoom.com and use promo code BBSHOW to get 10% off any LegalZoom business formation product, excluding subscriptions and renewals. This expires December 31st of 2024, the end of this month. Get everything you need from setup to success at LegalZoom.com and use promo code BBSHOW. LegalZoom.com, use promo code BBSHOW. And as a disclaimer, LegalZoom provides access to independent attorneys and self-service tools. LegalZoom is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice except where authorized through its subsidiary law firm, LZ Legal Services, LLC. And our thanks to LegalZoom for sponsoring this episode. You know those moments when you're juggling notes, projects, and tasks, and it feels like your brain is playing Twister? That used to be me until I discovered our sponsor, Notion. I've been using it in one of my other businesses, and let me tell you, it's like upgrading from a tricycle to a rocket ship. Notion combines everything, notes, docs, projects, into one beautifully designed space. And the new Notion AI, game changer. The new Notion AI is a single AI tool that does it all. Search across Notion and other apps, generate docs in your own style, analyze PDFs and images, and chat with you about anything. It's so efficient, I'm half convinced it could plan my next vacation while managing my business. Unlike those clunky tools that make you bounce between 6 different apps, Notion keeps everything integrated and flexible. And over half of Fortune 500 companies are already on board. Why? Because it works. Ready to supercharge your workflow? Try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/businessbrain. That's all lowercase letters. Notion.com/businessbrain to try the powerful, easy to use Notion AI today. And when you use our link, you're supporting our show. Notion.com/businessbrain, and our thanks to Notion for sponsoring this episode. You know, Shannon, I was coming out of the holiday weekend here. And our daughter, who lives in northern Italy now, was home for about 2 weeks with us.
Nice.
And it was great. We had some really great time with the 4 of us at the house. Our son came over from the other side of the state, and she was home last year for actually longer. She was home this time for about 2 weeks. Last time she was home for 5 weeks or something. And it felt like for a lot of it, we became tourists in our own land.
That's
there
cool.
Well, sort of. Like, it was good. There were things. She had been gone for about 10 months at that point, and there were a lot of things she was like, "Oh, I want to make sure I do this, and I want to make sure I do that, and get to do this," and so there were lots of things that she had on her list, and we wound up doing most, if not all, and then some. And this time, we all really just prioritized downtime together. And at the end of it, we were like, this is great. I felt like we all felt this way. We felt like we spent more time together in the 2 weeks with some downtime, as opposed to the 5 weeks of just like going nuts and running around and all those things. And both are good. But the idea of prioritizing downtime, it's something I've worked on all my life. I remember when I was in my, I guess it would be my early 20s, I was just starting to like work. And I remember one night, it was one night, or at some point a friend called and said, "Hey, what are you doing on Tuesday night?" And I remember saying to them, "I'm doing nothing." And they said, "Oh, great. You want to get together and go like do this thing or go to a movie or like whatever." And I'm like, I meant what I said. Like, this is an activity. I scheduled nothing for Tuesday night because I had like mayhem, leading up to that and from Wednesday after that. So I was like, no, on Tuesday, I'm actually doing nothing. And they respected that and it was totally fine. I'm not always that good at it, mind you, but it is something that I continually work at. And this time it was almost accidental until we started doing it. Then it was like, wait a minute. Like, her last day here was Sunday. She left Monday night for, to take the red eye back. And as we were kind of leading into it, it was like, we have nothing planned on Sunday. I was like, let's do that then. Let's just make it like a home day. And we wound up running an errand together as a family or whatever. But for the most part, we, sort of went with the flow of the day. We wound up playing some board games. We interacted all day. It wasn't like we just vegetated and like ignored each other and slept or whatever. But it was, we kind of kept the outside world out. And I think there's some benefit to that.
Like it. Yeah, especially this time of year. It's funny how when I've experienced this too, when your kids leave or whatever, people come into town, it's like this sense of, okay, they're visiting. How do we entertain them?
Right.
And I like the idea of like, no, we just keep going, doing our own. Maybe we'll go do something here and there or whatever. But for the most part, we're coming together to be together. And I think that I love hustle culture. I like to grind and get stuff done too. But it is really important to disconnect and to kind of recharge and connect with the people that mean the most to you. So yeah, I love the concept. It's tough. I have a hard time. I know you don't like the word busy, which I agree with, but we don't sit down a lot at our house. The idea that we would sit down and like, I don't know, this concept, like, especially like on a weekend, that we would just sit and do nothing is really strange to me and to my wife. We've always got stuff going on. So maybe making yourself do that is just an important part of it, and hanging out and chilling and just talking. And I like it.
It's something we have to be intentional about.
It's not natural.
No. So I keep a long list of anything that either I've thought of to put in the show or that you and I have discussed to put in the show. And this list is longer than we will ever get to, right? And there's some stuff on it that's not so great, and other things that, obviously we do, and then they come off the list. I put this, on Sunday, I put be intentional with your downtime on the list. And as I came into it, I noticed there was another comment about downtime that's probably about 4 or 5 years old, that I had queued up for the show that we never talked about. And I want to read you what I wrote, because it dovetails into what you just said.
Okay.
What I wrote, and again, this is years ago, but it was for this show. You're not falling in love with being busy. You're falling in love with being productive. That also means good breaks. Schedule downtime in your calendar just like any other task. Those short breaks can be fantastic.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really important, man, just to reset, because we're just bombarded.
Yes.
We're bombarded with so much stuff during the day, and it's like, I got to fill every minute, and I do this, and I've got to get this, and how do I measure? I have this sickness where at the end of the day, I'm constantly, okay, what did I get done? And do I deserve to relax?
Yes.
And sometimes that's a good motivator. I like that.
It is.
But it can be counterproductive too, certainly. So,
well, what I find when I do these things, the relaxation time, when I give myself permission to take a day or even 2 days in a row off from being productive, which really happened this weekend. We had Thanksgiving,
nice.
which was not a work day. Like we had family, extended family came over, and we did all that stuff. And then because our daughter is only home for 2 weeks, we did Christmas morning on Friday morning.
That's a good idea.
And it was great. We are not I wouldn't call us a religious family. Christmas is a secular holiday as far as we're concerned, and it's like
cool.
It's all okay, right? Like however you do it in your family is totally fine. But because of that, like the date didn't mean anything. It felt like Christmas all day on Friday.
It's a great idea.
That meant it was a down day for us. Yeah. But we also didn't have to entertain anybody because it wasn't actually Christmas, right?
That's nice.
We did that the day before. Saturday, we had some stuff to do. But having, Friday and then Sunday with these basically just family days gave me the fuel on Monday to be like, all right, now I get to be productive again.
Nice. Yeah. I was feeling kind of itchy by end of day Saturday. Like
I could see that. Yeah.
Thursday we were, we did entertain just family, so it was no big deal. Friday I was like, I got another day, and I did get a few things done, but pretty much just hung out and did some things with family. Saturday, we had some plans because I had to take my son to the airport. We went and hit Top Golf on the way. That was cool. But I felt like after I got home Saturday, it was like, hey, I need to get some work done. And, so anyway, but it's cool. How do you use downtime? We'd love to hear it. Feedback@businessbrain.show. It's super important to recharge your batteries and share your tips so we can share them here on the air.
Absolutely. Like he said, feedback@businessbrain.show. I think this downtime thing's important. So tell us how you do it, and that way we can all actually reap the rewards of what we do and keep living that charmed life. We'll see you on Friday.